And it goes running, running, and running, running, and running, running, and running, running. Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Kisbel Senti, and I'm a classical pianist. I just want to start off this video by saying that I'm super sorry to all my followers because I did say that my first video was going to be a performance video. But then so many things kept happening during my holiday break. I couldn't find the time to sit down and actually make the video. But instead, I decided to do this Q&A video. And you guys sent a lot of good questions. So I'm actually really excited to answer these questions. Now let's dive in. The first question is, what inspired you to start playing the piano? My dad. I got inspired by learning that my dad could play the piano because I actually didn't know. So it was a Saturday morning and we went to his church and all of them already knew. So it wasn't like anything out of the ordinary. But for me it was, because when they pointed out that it was actually my dad playing, I was so mesmerized because I was just like, whoa, he can make that piano sing. For me, it was mind-blowing because I didn't know that my dad could produce sounds and harmonies like that. And that day, he was playing on the grand piano, so the sound is even better. I was just so focused on my dad the whole time. He looked so good and so amazing. Oof, top notch. The second question is, what is your favorite piece? What's a piece you love to perform for a live audience, and who is your favorite composer and why? I can never say what's my favorite piece or composer because it always changes, okay? When I get to start learning a piece, I really cannot say specifically what has drawn me to play the piece, but there's always something when I hear them play for the first time, or when I'm checking the partition with it also, something just instantly just tells me that piece. And sometimes it can suck because I can take like the hardest piece out there, but I just need to do it because something about that piece calls me. I don't know how to choose from any of the pieces that have that effect on me. A piece that I would love to play for a live audience is Gabriel's Sicilienne, and it's for the piano and the cello. If you want a piece to just relax or a piece to study with, this is the piece, okay? It is so soothing, but it is intense, but not to the point where like it completely shifts your whole dynamic. The conversation between the piano and the cello is exquisite. The cello will say something and the piano will respond it right back. And I think that's really beautiful. It doesn't feel like one instrument is more of the accompaniment than the other. All I need now is a celloist that is willing to play with me. But I really want to play that piece one day. The third question is, what do you like most about being a classical pianist? The bragging rights. I'm just joking. I think the part that I like most about being a classical pianist is just knowing that I'm different from the rest of the mass. You know what I mean? Usually when you tell someone that you're a musician, they 100% gonna think, oh, she plays pop music. But it's only when you tell them, no, I'm actually a classical musician, that their look on their face changes, and you see it immediately. And I love that because it just confirms that I am different from the rest. The fourth question is, who is your greatest influence musically, and what pianists do you look up to? So I believe that it's not only like other pianists or other musicians that can influence you and how you play because of their style. I think it could also be people that are around you that you care for and that are really close to you. For me, it's my dad, just because my dad has a lot of influence on me, since he's the one that really initiated me into playing the piano, and he's the one that's always been there to push me in the piano. Even if I didn't want to hear it, even if I was over it, he was the only one that was really, not the only one, but he was the one that was he is my number one fan. And for that, it really does affect how I play, Because if something were to happen between us during that day and I have to go practice, what happened affects me, and that affects my playing, and in that motion it also affects my sound. So if something good happens between us, then I'm gonna have a completely different sound than if something bad had happened between us. But also it affects me in the sense of if I'm like really tired and I'm practicing, but I still have some things that I want to finish, I would stop and think about my dad, and that would give me like an extra, like, I don't know, just emotions would flow through me, and that flows through again me playing, and the sound just changes. So he really does affect me musically. The pianist that I look up to is Katja Butunishvili. Her technicality, her playing, her presence on stage is phenomenal. Like, honestly, she is such a great pianist. But it's not only because of that, it's also because she's a woman, and she's a woman of color. So she's breaking like all the stereotypes of gender and color when it comes to classical musicians in the classical world. Like, she's doing it, and on all the big stages. So she's really a boss lady. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Why does this sound like an interview question? Like, in 5 years, I really do want to see myself as I've grown more than I am right now. So I want to be able to have a more stable following, a more stable outcome of videos that goes onto this channel. But I also want to be able to do more, perform more, show more, so that when I look back on myself today, I can see, whoa, like how different I was and how much has changed, but like in a positive way. What is your comfort drink? Bubble tea, coffee, minus chai tea latte. Child, bubble tea. Anyone that knows me knows that one of the keys to my heart is bubble tea. What tips do you have to be consistent with practice? Well, for a beginner, it's about two things, okay? It's about your time and how you're gonna divide that time. So for time, you're not gonna go for 3 hours. You're gonna go for 20, 30, 35 minutes. You want it to be that small because you wanna be able to maintain and sustain that time of practice so that you can see progress and that you can see the results of your practices every day. Now, when it comes to dividing, that's also important because you're using your time efficiently and you are making sure that you are being productive in that small amount of time, okay? So if you have scale arpeggios and a piece to play, then you are going to divide your time in those three sections in order for you to be more productive. You can have one section bigger than the other because sometimes it just takes more time, and that's okay. Because it's better that you practice something and that is structured for 30 minutes than you have an hour practice and you only practiced a good practice for 20, and the rest of it just completely messes up what you've done in that 20 minutes. C'est quoi ton parcours en tant que pianiste? In February is gonna give me 11 years of me playing, and I've had 3 teachers. So my first teacher, I did 5.5 years with him, and he's actually the one that introduced me to a classical pianist. He was the one that was looking to teach me. So your girl is demanded. She's demanded. My second teacher, I had her when I was with my current school, and I did 3.5 years with her, and I'm super grateful for her because she really busted my behind when it came to the piano. She didn't take my nonsense when I was trying to like skip out on it a little bit, you know? She really pushed me, and I'm really grateful for that. She is one of the people that really made me realize that piano is for me, and I don't need to be playing, like, I shouldn't be playing for other people. I shouldn't be playing to satisfy other people. And it should be all about me and pushing myself and satisfying myself. Even after she left the school, we're still friends, and she's helped me in a difficult situation that I had last year. Shout out to her. And my third teacher, I've been with her for a year and a half almost. I'm really grateful for her too. She graduated with her master's degree in piano performance, and she is honestly so patient with me. because like I said, I try a lot of nonsense sometimes. So, and sometimes I like to whine a lot when it comes to practicing. But she has this attention to details that I have yet to develop and attain. And she's able to push me to a higher level of playing, and she's amazing. So I can't even like complain. Question number 9. Are you studying piano performance? If so, any advice for how to convince your parents to let you pursue the arts? So I am not currently in the piano performance program, and I want to make a separate YouTube video just because that story in itself is very, it's a lot. But I am doing my BA specialized in music. So everything that they've learned, I learned. Everything that they're learning, I am learning also. I'm just not doing it within the school for some of it. For when it comes to tips about your parents, I didn't have to convince my dad. He was honestly waiting for me to tell him that I was going into piano in university. It was mostly my mom because she came from the background of in Haiti, you don't have a platform and you don't have a demand for music, for arts, for pianists, for none of that. So she was really concerned about how I was going to make a living off of it here, but I had to sit her down a couple of times to tell her I am a resilient and perseverant person, and I will do whatever it takes to get to where I want to go, and where I want to be. So it's a lot of reassurance, a lot of reassurance, and it's some convincing too. How and when did you realize classical piano was what you wanted to pursue? I realized it when it came into my mind that I do not want to go into a job that I'm not happy about. I don't want to go into work and think, when am I going to clock out? You know, I don't, and also I didn't want to be in a typical job where I'm working for someone. I wanted to be the boss of myself because I want to be able to control every matter of what I'm doing. And music gives me that outlet. It's not only creative, but I'm the master of everything, of my practice, of the outcome, and of the performance. The 11th question is, how did you fall in love with the piano again? Not to sound creepy, but I am in a relationship with my piano. And I think that every musician can relate. We are all in relationship with our instruments, okay? And sometimes we can even feel the glare of when we're not practicing. When you're in a relationship, it's all about learning about that other person and being able to find those things that keep you inside that relationship, because loving someone is always a choice. You choose to stay with that person. So that translates itself to the music too. When it comes to falling in love with your instrument, it's all about, the more you learn about music, the more you learn about your instrument, the more you're going to fall in love with it. And the last question is, what does music mean to me? I don't want to be the cheesy girl, but I guess that I have to. Music is me, and I am music. Okay, I know it sounds so cringy, but for real, it's literally that though. Like, my sister has an unreleased album of random songs of things that happen to us throughout the day. Just like all of us, we need water, air, and food. For me, the list continues on to music, because I embody music to such an extent that every day I kind of produce music somehow. I can't do anything without music. Anyways, this has been really fun and interesting to do. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys have something that you would love to see me do, put it in the comments. Like, dead ass, just put it in the comments below. Like right there. Right there. Yeah. Put it in there. And I'll try my best to do the videos for you. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.